Welcome to Kevin's Covers. Today we are going to be doing Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. This is the first song by Zepp that I'm doing on this channel. It will absolutely not be the last. I'm an enormous Zeppelin fan, and Ramble On is in many ways the most obvious acoustic song to do with Zeppelin. Now, of course, Jimmy Page played the acoustic guitar on it. He also played electric. And what the arrangement I've done is very close to what he actually played, but it's also very different in certain important aspects. I've arranged it to do solo acoustic. In case this is the first time you're on this channel is all about solo acoustic arrangements for one guitar, one voice, and that's what I've tried to put together for this absolutely fantastic song. I rate this pretty challenging in terms of being either easy, intermediate, or challenging, particularly to get it right. So let's take a look at the song, and then afterwards we'll come back and I'll show you the details of how I put this together.
Leaves are falling all around. Time I was on my way. Still I'm much obliged for such a pleasant stay. Now the time's come for me to go. The autumn moonlight's my way. Now I smell the rain, and with it pain, and it's headed my way. Sometimes I get so tired, I know there's one thing I gotta do. Gotta ramble on. Now's the time is now to sing my song. I go round the world, I'm gonna find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years till the day I gotta ramble on. Find the queen of all my dreams. Got no time for spreading roots. Time has come to be gone. Though our health we drank 1,000 times, it's time to ramble on. Ramble on. Now's the time is now to sing my song. I'm going around the world, I'm gonna find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years till the day I gotta ramble on. Find the queen of all my dreams. That can't be told. My freedom I hold dear. Years ago, in days of old, when magic filled the air, and in the darkest depths of mortar, I met a girl so fair. But Gollum, evil one crept up and slipped away with her, yeah. Ain't nothing I can do, no. Gotta ramble on. Now's the time is now to sing my song. I go around the world, I'm gonna find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years till the day I gotta ramble on. Find the queen of all my dreams, my baby. Do, 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 my baby. Do, 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 my baby. My
So that was my performance of my arrangement of Ramble On. Let's take a look at it in detail. I'm starting out that initial E up here in the 12th fret, just a standard kind of E, but just 12 frets up, so at the octave. Then coming down here to this D, which is actually a D6 with an added ninth, I think, because of the B and the E, but anyway. And then we're coming down over here, right, into what's kind of like a B. It's not really a B4, but anyway. Okay, and actually this is another E chord at this point. And pulling off that F, right, and sliding into this A, adding the fourth. You can play around with that fourth. I think that Jimmy Page actually hits the fourth right from the start and then plays it. But anyway, and you put that all together, and this ongoing kind of droning bit over the verses, it goes like this, right? Okay? And we're going to repeat that as we're singing it, right? Leaves are falling all around. You can also lift up that E over here to add the B, make it an A9, right? And you'll repeat that over the verses. Then we have the pre-chorus, which only comes in 2 of the 3 choruses, but where we're going. Just sliding this up over here, right? These are major 7th chords. And then into this open A over here, and then this other, these are not exactly A's, and they're not exactly major 7ths for that matter, but I'm not going to get too much into theory here. But anyway, so. And then coming down and hitting this over here, right? You can actually play everything, although I tend not to play that open E, right? So. And that gives you your little pre-chorus, right? And I like to play around a fair amount with kind of muffing that in between to raise the tension a little bit. So. I love Jimmy Page. Anyway, now for the chorus, this is, I've really tried to bring in a little bit of John Paul Jones bass. But one of the really interesting things about the arrangement here is that John Paul Jones is basically playing in a very major scale kind of bass line on this, except a little chromatic run up. And it really, really works when Jimmy is on the electric guitar bringing the darker overtones to it, not to mention John Bonham being Bonzo, right? But so I tried to find kind of the feel of John Paul Jones bass, which I don't really get doing solo acoustic if I actually play what he's playing. So what I'm really trying to bring out in all this during the chorus, right, is I want to make it intense. I want to have that intensity while at the same time not playing John Paul Jones bass line, and furthermore, I'll trying to bring that in while I'm playing open chords. So what I'm doing here, in order to get that bass line and everything together, is I'm actually playing, right? So we have our basic E. Then these are, I'm just playing the 3 notes as power chords, which makes them G minor, A minor, right? So E. And I'm sliding up this open A. But then I'm coming up and grabbing this E over here. I'm pulling it off to the A. And then coming down and hitting this G, which is, I suppose, G6 because of the E. And then coming up and grabbing this G in the bass. So if you remember, I was saying. So here I'm hitting that D as the bass, and then coming down to the G. Let's take a look at that slowly, and you end up at. Now that's nothing like what Zeppelin is doing, but honestly, I've always found that it works pretty well in terms of solo acoustic work. In terms of the structure, I'd also point out there are two instrumental interludes in the song, in the Zeppelin recording of it. One has kind of soaring thing, da 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 da, but over the droning kind of basic acoustic riff. I found no way to actually do that without killing the riff. So I tend, first of all, I shorten it, and I tend simply to try to sweeten up a little bit the riff by doing things like coming down over here, right? So then you can play a little bit when you're on this, right? Just for a couple of measures over half of that first instrumental interlude to make it stand out a little bit. But then we have another bit which actually goes like this. It would be something like this. Along those lines. And it never really sounded right to me in this arrangement, so I do something very similar to it. I go, and come back into the, right? You can see it in the performance where that comes in. You have to be careful just to hit, those three strings. I'd also point out you can very often hammer on that entire E chord up here. That's pretty much it. The song on the album actually fades, and of course when you're playing live, fades are problematic. And I find that little end I did in the performance section here works out pretty well. It's just, again, the chorus, right? And actually, I found that it's really not much of a problem to end the song on that. So those are the different elements of the song, the arrangement that I put together. The rhythmic element here is really important. You can play a lot with dynamics on it. This is just such a great song, and I'd point out, since this is the first Zeppelin song that I'm doing on the channel, I'm an enormous fan of Led Zeppelin, not only in terms of actually just the underlying quality of the music, but also arrangements. If you listen to the arrangements they put together, it's really unique. I'm of the absolute opinion that Zeppelin, in many respects, they were just the foundation of so much more rock that came later, and particularly in terms of how they use space. If you actually listen to how they can use space to really make something intense, which seems counterintuitive. We'll see that more when we see other Zeppelin tunes. I plan on doing stuff like Over the Hills and Far Away, Custard Pie, stuff like that, even Four Sticks. So I try to use a little bit of space as well in the solo acoustic arrangements, but if you're really into arranging, then I strongly suggest you listen to Led Zeppelin to hear how you can use space to create intensity. And if you're doing the song, hopefully you can bring that into your performance as well and also play around with the dynamics. I hope that was useful to you. I would just be thrilled to hear more people busking Zeppelin in the streets. And if this song appeals to you, then by all means take it. Go out, play it, make it better. Let me know if you have other ideas. I'd love to hear them. And in the meantime, rock on.